I'm sitting here munching on some candied ginger, crystallized ginger that I made the other day. I was making some ginger simple syrup. I like to make a batch every couple of weeks or so because I love like ginger turmeric tea, and using the ginger simple syrup as a sweetener is just like yum yum. One of the things I love, and it made me kind of go down the path of what how do we show ourselves love? What does you loving you actually look like? Because we hear about self love so much, and so many times it's automatically translated into spa days and treat yourself moments and these little routines. And yeah, I can't even front it. Those things are wonderful. But loving yourself goes so much deeper than that. Because you loving yourself, it's just not about those things that we treat ourselves to occasionally. It's what we do on a regular basis, how we care for ourselves on a regular basis, and recognizing what fills us and what depletes us. You know what nourishment actually looks like to you. Not to everybody, because it is definitely different for everyone, but what it looks like to you. Some folks, they love the quiet aspect of it. The quiet is what fills them. They take some time, 30 minutes, hour, whatever, before the world gets loud. And it's not like they're avoiding anything. It just allows one to return to themselves before it feels like they're just pulled in 50 million different directions throughout the day. For some other people, it's movement, the gym, a walk, a stretch, or just breathing enough or deeply, those deep breaths to make you feel like you've released something. Get some of that weight off of your chest, out of your body. That feels like love to some. For some folks, they really enjoy conversation, whether it's with someone who's neutral or someone who knows you deeply. As long as it's someone safe and someone who can help you clearly see when you've kind of gotten tangled, when your thoughts have kind of gotten tangled and you can't find that thread anymore that helps you lead you back to you. For some folks, it's just getting outside, getting some of that outside on you, letting the air touch your face and surround you, being enveloped in something bigger than you, something bigger than your current worries, even if it's just for a few minutes. And sometimes it's a whole lot simpler than that. It can look like just noticing when you feel lighter. When does that happen? When do you feel like you're pushing through everything? When or what makes you feel energized versus drained? In what situations and environments, sound, silence, light, dark, whatever, what makes you feel most like yourself? Because loving yourself isn't only about adding things. Sometimes it's recognizing what we need less of. And I want to be clear in that I'm not saying that I'm talking about stepping back from your life, you know, avoiding what challenges you versus honoring what feeds you, because they are two very different things. I'm in no way saying that when things get hard, you get a chance. That you can disappear, that you have to disappear. I understand stepping back when you have to kind of get your bearings, but stepping away from all challenges is not what necessarily feeds you, because there will come a time when what must be faced must be faced. This is about knowing who you are, knowing what strengthens you, and knowing what makes you feel full, so that you can show up fully for the things and people that matter. I know for me, for example, some of my clearest thinking happens when I'm driving or dancing. It's just something about being in motion and trying not to, or not needing to produce anything, just moving. And the ideas, they show up. So I keep a small notebook in my car, just one of those little bitty old steno notebooks, just something to reach for, something to catch what comes through in those moments before it slips away. I don't keep one in my bra though when I dance. It's bulky and ink smudges, so that's something different. But I do keep one in my car. But I've learned, and I'm still learning, where my mind opens. And once I knew that, I stopped fighting it and I started protecting it, looking for those opportunities to better learn what makes me feel alive, what makes me feel joy. And that's really what this is all about. Learning where you feel open, where you feel most free, where you feel most full, and then making space for those things. Not when everything else is done, and not as a reward for getting through the day. Though sometimes on my land, you definitely want some type of medal for making it through. But this is because this is part of how we function, and we recognize that, and we're taking the time for that. So maybe the question isn't, am I doing enough self-care? Maybe it really is a lot simpler than that. Just sitting and asking yourself, what does me loving me actually look like? Not that version that you've seen online, or not what works for someone else, but you. What restores you? What returns you to yourself? What helps you feel like you're living your life instead of just managing it? Because loving yourself isn't always loud or elaborate. Sometimes it's just recognizing what nourishes you and choosing that consistently and making space for it. And not because you earned it, but because you matter. Sit with yourself there and continue traveling.